Cruise ship / hotel workers of Reddit. What is something you aren't allowed to tell us? Ex-hotel employee here. If you ever need to cancel a hotel reservation, but it's already past the cancellation deadline, just call and move your reservation up a few days. Wait 5 minutes. Call back, now well within the cancellation window, and cancel your stay for free. Get a free fridge in your room. Say it is a medical need for medication. HIPAA laws mean they can't pressure details out of you. May not work for smaller motel / hotel, but should for most larger hotels / cruises. Odds are, someone died on your cruise. Think about all the old folks you see get onto the boat. For a lot of them this is their retirement home, and cheaper than a lot of other retirement homes. They are literally taking cruises until they die, and we eventually find them in their cabins. I currently work as a housekeeper, seasonal / summer. People leave anything and everything behind. Forget your curling iron? We probably have one. Need a charger? Yep. Toys for your child? You got it. If you ask, while we're in between rooms, or cleaning a common area, we'd love to help you out. No one really asks. I worked as an improv actor on a cruise once for 6 months. What we don't tell you is half the show is scripted, we just tie in your suggestions. The staff on most all cruise lines are not trained nearly well enough to handle an abandoned ship situation. It would be chaos if it were to happen on a large vessel. The safety briefing you go to is just theater, and we want to be there even less than you do. Norovirus is way more common on ships than you would think. Security staff on ships are poorly equipped to handle a major security breach like an active shooter situation. The words bright star over the PA indicates a medical emergency is happening and is a page for medical staff to respond. The captain earns bonuses for saving fuel. Leaving port early or arriving late means the ship can go slower and conserve fuel, which means more money for the captain. Yay, I can finally answer this. I work at an upscale resort. Nights average $500 a night. I work in the entertainment department, meaning we help with both the daycare center and with large groups in-house that companies host. I will say that our child daycare is pretty safe. The only sketchy thing I would say is that we will always tell you that your kid had a good time, regardless if they had been crying up until just before you got there. Parents leave their numbers with us to call if the kid wants to go home, but whenever a kid complains that they want to go home, we do everything in our power to make sure that they stay, cause dollars. Also, the in-group activities that we do, biking, hiking, etc., are sometimes made up on the spot, since the entertainment dept decided not to properly train us in all of our offered activities. Newer staff, generally the people that only work summers, are told the morning of that they are running a certain activity and given a really vague rundown of how it's supposed to go and told to do their best to make stuff up, but make sure it sounds good. Companies pay thousands of dollars for these activities, but I can assure you the thought that goes into these activities is essentially zero. I worked for a fancy restaurant in a tourist town that catered to cruise line passengers looking to get away from the ships. Our desserts were frozen and shipped to us from a company named Gourmet Chefs, so when you read the menu description and we say that all of our desserts are prepared by Gourmet Chefs, we aren't lying. They were just reheated and prepared by a high school kid making $3 an hour. Oh, I once had the life. I was at the top of my game in a mediocre burger joint that my family owned for generations. I used to make my kids go out and find new customers. One day I sent them to the docking harbor to convince sailors to come over. That's when it started. The captain of a cruise liner came over to my shop and offered my family and I a free night on the ship if I simply cooked the ship's meals for that one night. After taking part in the buffet I made, I suddenly realized the boat had left port and the captain had other plans for me. He threw me into the ship's kitchen with another locked up Frenchman who was slightly flamboyant and kept on asking me to K him. Before I knew it, my family and I were trapped on a cruise ship for life. I tried raising mutiny, but no one wanted to help a mediocre fry cook. Ever since then, I can only look through my small port window of my kitchen station as we sail past the Jamaican coast. I'm a front desk manager at a hotel. I want to jump in and say something before this gets real big. When this kind of thread pops up, Someone always says that the front desk GSA can upgrade or change rates for a guest if the guest is nice to them / tips them. While this may happen sometimes, it is not common. If one of my employees gave someone a cheapo rate, he has to explain why. It will come up in our reports. That being said, hotels are a ton of fun. I can't think of any big secrets, but I will say this. If you have any questions or requests, no matter how stupid or weird, let the staff know. We love to help people, that's why we went into the industry. And it makes it a lot better for both the guest and the staff when we can help you while you're still in the hotel and not when you're calling corporate after checkout to complain. That hotels sometimes overbook rooms, typically more so in the summer, since that's a busy season. They are relying on some people either cancelling or not showing up. Always a good idea to call and confirm your reservation on the day of arrival, especially if you're gonna be late. Hotelier here. I worked in numerous luxury 5-star properties worldwide. You will be shocked if you know the food quality in buffets. I've seen yellow food coloring added and labeled as saffron sauce, pan-fried sea bass. Haha. It's pan-fried whitefish that comes in generic bags labeled whitefish. People change the expiration date on stuff so that the food cost doesn't increase. The amount of frozen food sold and labeled as fresh is astounding. A la carte food tends to have much better quality. I work as a longshoreman at a cruise ship terminal. More people die on cruises than you realize, mostly old people. Norovirus is very common, but more during flu season. Crew member go missing, often hitching a free ride to New York City. Rare occasion your luggage will fall in the water being loaded onto the ship. The ship will give you a very shitty refund for your loss of luggage. And if you're going to a berth with more than one ship docked, make sure you know what ship you're going on. Idiots tend to let their luggage get on the wrong ship and have a lovely week without it. Word of advice, if you're getting on a cruise ship in New York City, if your ship leaves at 4 o'clock, get there at 1:30 or 2 o'clock. You will avoid the crowds and the check-in lines and your luggage will be attended to right away. Generally speaking, hotel guests who book through Expedia and other websites are expendable if we gotta walk someone. Also, you are booking the shitty rooms at the highest price if you do it last minute. Do it long in advance, and you are still booking crappy inventory. Groups and corporate travelers always get better treatment cause they come back and represent a lot more lodge-in term revenue than you. People that book online are like people that switch toothpaste cause one is cheaper this week. You are not loyal if you would book direct. Every hotel has a huge box of chargers in back of house. Every kind of charger imaginable. I don't even bring one with me when I travel anymore. A few months ago I went to Vegas, forgot my charger. I remembered this trick and went to the desk asking if someone found a charger. They said I needed to talk to casino security about it. So I decided why not and went and talked to them about it. In order to get my item back I needed to provide my room number, the time within an hour for when it was lost, where it was lost, and other stuff like that. So I didn't get a charger. Ended up going to the store and paying $25 for one that didn't work. So either Vegas is onto this trick or they have problems with homeless people coming in and getting chargers and selling them for money. Either way they cared way more than I thought they would. Been on 3 cruises now as a passenger. Last one was great. Heaps of people turfed out in far-flung ports. 2 women got in a punch-up in the laundry. Things got heated over the shortage of machines, then someone threw chocolate into a dryer. Cue the punching. Another couple got caught shagging in the elevator at 11 PM by a family with young kids. The shagging CPL were married too, just not to each other. At IHG hotels, that is Holiday Inn, Staybridge Suites, Crown Plaza etc. If you say you're there for a funeral/death and you ask for the bereavement rate, it's close to 50% off. We also weren't allowed to mention it exists or give the rate unless directly asked for it by a guest checking in. Something else we hid from guests. Generally when a guest booked a room from a third-party company, Orbitz, Booking, Expedia, they typically paid more. Our managers had us go out of our way to hide that from guests. Lastly, if a guest came into the hotel that didn't fit their ideal guest, that is, tattoos, tattered clothes, etc., we were instructed to quote a much higher room price And if they decided to stay, to actually charge them this inflated price. Front desk manager here. If you ask for a pillow, I'll give you a pillow. If you're asking for prostitutes or hookers, you'll ask for a pillow for the second time with emphasis on the word pillow. I'm not allowed to ask whether you wanted a pillow or a pillow, but if you emphasize the word, I'll get it. Also, go to the concierge, down to the lobby, instead of calling. Everyone calls if they want a pillow. You have to be either dense or really wanting one to go to the concierge. Don't work on a cruise ship, but ended up hanging out with several people who do while drunk the last night of a cruise. If you're looking for somewhere discreet and your room is not available for whatever reason, the laundry rooms don't have cameras and do have locks on doors. Wild bad happens there late at night.